In this lesson, we'll cover how to use objects. We won't go into too much detail about objects as they warrant a class of their own. We'll cover object properties and two specific objects, the datetime and the time delta objects. Start by navigating to repl.it/languages/python3. You'll then see a screen like this one. First, import datetime. Now we can construct any date and time that we want. For example, this is 2030, January 1st. And this is 2050, May 1st at noon. We can also do something interesting. Previously, we saw that we could subtract numbers. Here, you can also subtract datetime objects. You can try this now by subtracting two datetimes. This is 2030, April 1st, minus 2030, January 1st. This returns a time delta object. This time delta object represents the distance in time between these two datetimes, which is 90 days. Another nifty method is called now. This computes the current datetime. Go ahead and type in datetime.now. As you can see, I'm filming this class just a few days. As you can see, I'm filming this part of the class on Thanksgiving Day. Let's see how long we have until January 1st, 2030. We can do this by doing another difference between datetime objects. So we can do datetime 2030, January 1st minus the current datetime. That's quite a number of days into the future. Let's dive a little deeper into what this time delta object offers. Assign the difference in the last line of code to a variable. 2030 January 1st minus the current datetime. So up to this point, we've seen a few interesting things about objects. First, we can call object methods. Second, we can subtract datetime objects from one another. One more concept. Objects can have properties that are not methods. You can access a property by also using the dot notation. For example, the time delta has a property called days. Go ahead and type in diff.days. This tells us how many days until January 1st, 2030. Another example, the datetime object has properties like day and year. So let's go ahead and type in now equals to datetime.now, and you can now type in .year and .day. Let's now build another nifty tool. We will write a program that reports the number of days until your birthday. Like at the end of the last lesson, you will now write code in a file instead of in the interpreter. To the left, in main.py, start by importing the datetime utilities. Go ahead and type in from datetime import datetime. We're going to assign a variable to hold the current datetime. We're also going to assign another variable to hold the datetime for this year's birthday. bday equals datetime now.year, and let's pretend that our birthday is February 1st. However, say it's just 2 days past your birthday, and it's currently February 3rd. This year's birthday has already passed, so February 1st is not the next birthday. Luckily for us, you can also compare dates as if they were numbers. We will now use an if condition to check if this year's birthday has already passed. If bday is less than now, go ahead and reassign this so that it is a new date time with 1 year in the future. In other words, if this year's birthday has passed, calculate the date time for next year's birthday. Go ahead and type in now, diff is equal to birthday minus now. Finally, print the difference in days. At the very top of the file, go ahead and hit run, and you should see the number of days until your very next birthday. And that concludes this lesson. This is a quick summary of the concepts you've touched on: object properties, datetime objects, and time delta objects. If you'd like to access and download these slides, or view completed code for the example in this lesson, visit this URL. This concludes all the concepts we wanted to cover in this class. In the next lesson, you'll synthesize what you've learned into one final example project.